Hey there! What if I told you that 5 minutes of daily practice could completely transform the way you speak English? Welcome to English Unleashed Lab, the show designed for anyone who wants to sound more natural, more relaxed, and more sure of themselves when speaking English. My name is Tom, and my mission is to guide you toward smoother, easier English. One small step after another, one day after another. I speak at a gentle, unhurried pace, so you can follow along and say the ye words right after me. Today's topic is straightforward yet incredibly effective. We're diving into how you can build your English skills every single day, even when your schedule is packed, even when speaking feels uncomfortable, even when you're thousands of miles from any English-speaking nation. A lot of learners believe they must relocate to America or Britain before they can truly improve. But here's the truth. That idea is completely wrong. You don't have to be sitting in a cafe in New York. You don't need a fluent speaker living beside you. And you absolutely don't need to dedicate entire evenings to grammar drills. What actually works? Tiny, intelligent moves. Actions that are simple enough to repeat. Actions that blend seamlessly into your ordinary routine. Actions that gradually make you feel at ease, relaxed, and self-assured whenever you open your mouth in English. Ready? Let's dive right in. Here's something I want you to consider. Have you ever heard of a technique called shadowing? Perhaps the term sounds familiar. Perhaps it's brand new to you. Either way, shadowing is among the most effective methods for strengthening both your speaking and your comprehension simultaneously. It's remarkably simple and deeply impactful. Here's the basic idea. You hear someone speaking English, just like you're hearing me at this very moment, and you immediately try to mirror their exact words. You don't pause. You don't mentally convert anything into your first language. You don't reach for a translation app. You simply echo the sound. You aim to reproduce the words at an identical pace, with matching intonation and the same natural flow as the original speaker. Want to give it a shot together? I'll speak a phrase, then you echo it back. I dream of speaking English with ease. Go ahead, say it now. I make time for English practice daily. Your turn. Repeating out loud makes me a stronger speaker. Now echo that. Excellent work. That's shadowing in action. In the beginning, it can feel awkward or unusual. You might miss some of the words you hear. That's perfectly fine. Shadowing isn't about catching every single syllable. It's about conditioning your mind and your voice to operate together in this new language. It familiarizes you with the music of English, the way it rises, falls, and moves through your lips. Small daily habits build extraordinary fluency over time. If you commit to this for even 5 short minutes each day, something remarkable happens. Your speech becomes quicker, your words become crisper, and your delivery becomes far more organic. It's a minor routine that delivers major breakthroughs. Now, let's tackle the central question. What are the best ways to work on English throughout your day? So many of my students have told me, Tom, I really do want to improve, but there aren't enough hours. My life is hectic. I freeze up whenever I try to talk. I have no clue where to begin. And my response is always the same. You don't require massive blocks of time. You don't require flawless sentence structure. And you certainly don't need to sit around waiting for some ideal opportunity. You simply need to start moving forward. Here are 5 practical and potent strategies for weaving English into every corner of your daily existence, no matter where on the planet you happen to be. Strategy. Number 1. Immerse your ears in English daily. This might be the single most critical habit you develop. If your goal is better speaking, then you must increase your listening. And do it consistently, not sporadically, not exclusively during formal lessons. Every single day without exception. Why does listening matter so much? Because it introduces you to fresh vocabulary. It reveals the authentic cadence of conversational English. It sharpens your ability to decode meaning quickly, and it exposes you to how people genuinely communicate. not the stiff, artificial sentences found in traditional course materials. So, where do you begin? Try podcasts such as this one. Explore English language songs. Browse educational channels online. Seek out beginner-friendly audiobooks or simplified news broadcasts. You absolutely do not need perfect comprehension. Simply allow the language to wash over you. Even grasping just 30 or 50% still creates meaningful progress. You can tune in during a walk, while tidying your home, while preparing a meal, during a workout, or even while lying down to relax. Just 10 or 15 minutes daily is sufficient to generate noticeable improvement. Transform English into the soundtrack of your everyday routine. Strategy number 2. Vocalize everything you absorb. Now that your ears are engaged, it's time to activate your voice. Have you ever noticed that listening alone never quite feels like enough? That's because speaking is where genuine growth takes root. After hearing a sentence or a brief audio segment, say it back. Mirror the voice. Match the cadence and energy. 4. Instance. My English gets a little bit better each week. Say it back now. I don't grasp everything yet, but I refuse to quit. Repeat that. Progress happens one conversation at a time. Echo those words. Practice this daily. Replay the same phrases over and over. Before long, you'll realize your speech flows with less friction. Your pronunciation sharpens noticeably. Your self-assurance climbs steadily higher. And keep this in mind, perfection is never the target. Consistent repetition is what matters most. Strategy number 3. Begin forming thoughts directly in English. This is perhaps the single most transformative shift available to you. Can you imagine what happens when you stop translating and start thinking natively? At the outset, your brain will resist. It naturally wants to process through your mother tongue first. But that extra step costs you precious seconds and breaks your fluency. So how do you start reshaping your inner dialogue? Begin with brief, uncomplicated statements. Speak them silently inside your head. When your alarm rings, another morning already. I could use some rest. Time for a warm drink. When you step outside, clouds everywhere today. There's a chill in the breeze. A cat just crossed the sidewalk. Throughout your afternoon, deadlines piling up. My energy is fading. I'm ready to head home. These are tiny mental notes, but they forge a direct pathway between your brain and English. No middleman language, no hesitation. Eventually, try whispering them aloud. Murmur softly to yourself. It becomes a private daily dialogue, entirely in English. Strategy number 4. Read passages out loud to activate your speaking. Muscles. Silent reading has its benefits, but vocalizing text is far superior for building fluency. It forces your lips, your tongue, and your cognitive processing to synchronize perfectly. Pick something short and accessible. A kid's storybook, a beginner-level article, a conversation pulled from a video or audio show. Read through it slowly and deliberately. Then go through it a second time at a slightly brisker pace. Then once more, adding emotion and personality. Pretend you're performing on a stage. Your voice is a muscle. Exercise it every day. This strengthens your accent, your flow, and your inner belief that you belong in English conversations. Think of it as a workout session, except the muscle you're training sits right behind your teeth. Strategy number 5. Weave English into the fabric of your normal life. Here's something essential I want you to absorb deeply. To truly excel at English, studying alone will never be sufficient. You need to coexist with the language. What does that actually look like in practice? It means English shouldn't be confined to a half-hour block on a weekday evening. It shouldn't exist only within 4 classroom walls or between textbook covers. It should infiltrate your authentic, messy, wonderful, ordinary existence. just like your morning routine or your most used application. The more frequently you encounter English, absorb English, and produce English throughout your hours, the more instinctive everything becomes. Let me offer several effortless methods, even for the busiest among you. First, switch your device language to English right now. You probably glance at your screen dozens upon dozens of times daily. Each glance becomes a micro lesson. You'll absorb terms like notifications, battery saver, screen brightness, software update, storage available, remove or install. No flashcards required. You simply encounter them repeatedly until your memory locks them in. This is what experts refer to as incidental learning, and its power is remarkable. Second, keep a brief English journal each evening. No lengthy compositions necessary. Simply jot down 3 short observations about your past 24 hours. For instance, I commuted to the office this morning. Exhaustion hit me around midday. I consumed 3 mugs of tea. Or, rain poured all afternoon. I remained indoors reading. I discovered a fascinating English channel. This strengthens your ability to construct basic sentences and employ vocabulary drawn from genuine lived experience. 5 minutes nightly with a small notebook or a notes app produces surprising advancement over weeks. Third, capture a 60-second voice recording before bed each night. This is personally one of my most recommended exercises. Simply open your recorder application and narrate freely. Describe your morning, your upcoming plans, your current emotions, or a new word you encountered. Something like, "Today flew by quickly. A colleague asked me a difficult question. Later, I prepared dinner and watched a brief tutorial online." Mistakes are welcome. Nobody else ever needs to hear these clips. They exist purely for your own growth. Reviewing your own recordings reveals your pronunciation patterns, highlights grammatical tendencies, and spotlights recurring errors you can address tomorrow. This cultivates fluency, courage, and genuine self-awareness. Fourth, connect with other learners through online communities. Formal instruction isn't your only option. Fellow students exist everywhere across the internet. Find a group chat on any messaging platform. Explore language exchange applications or dedicated social media communities for learners at your level. Compose short messages. Send audio replies. Pose questions and offer answers. Even passively absorbing what others share carries value. Suddenly, English feels vibrant and living. It transforms from an academic obligation into a genuine human connection. Fifth, replay brief clips and mirror the speakers. Short-form content across every major platform overflows with compact, digestible English moments. Select topics that genuinely interest you: cuisine, adventure, everyday routines, comedy, anything at all. View the same clip 2 or 3 times. Then freeze the playback and echo each phrase you caught. Attempt to replicate the speakers' energy, their vocal texture, their velocity. Even a clip lasting just 15 or 20 seconds offers tremendous value. It's an enjoyable, low-pressure method for absorbing how English truly sounds in the wild. All right. Integrating English into your regular hours demands very little effort. It barely consumes any additional minutes. You require zero professional guidance to accomplish it. And here is the real revelation. Convert ordinary micro-moments into language-building opportunities. Rather than greeting someone in your native tongue tomorrow morning, switch to an English greeting. Rather than drafting your task list in your first language, attempt composing it entirely in English. Rather than spending 5 passive minutes watching familiar content, dedicate those same minutes to something English-based.